Hey everybody, welcome to the Two Bro Gamers podcast on wherever you're listening to in the internet world. I am Ricky.
I'm Steve. What up? What up?
What up, y'all? First off, we gotta make a quick announcement for our show before we start. We have a blog now.
Yay!
Yay! Yay! It is gonna be. We'll post a link in the description on YouTube because that's where we're starting off for now. But of course, our blog will also show some of our writings whenever we have the time to. It's not gonna be like a consistent thing, but the more consistent thing is gonna be our videos, on YouTube, and also uploads of our MP3 versions of our show that you can download and carry with you without having to stream.
Woo woo!
Yeah, how handy is that? Because you guys love this show so much, you want to carry it with you guys, right?
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! We are at two brokegamerspodcast.wordpress.com.
Woo woo!
Yeah, so of course we have this one post where it just introduces ourselves. We have an about page where we also shout out our video guy, editor, and chief engineer, I guess you should say, Hyrule. So shout out to him again and his brother Victor out there, working on things and getting our stuff online. And of course,
Yeah.
I'll be working on it. And Steve's going to be on the site too, just posting things.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Yeah!
So yeah, and the topic is going to range from our opinions on stuff that's probably going to be too long for the show. And we'll also talk about our length of our show because we promised a half hour before, and we kind of been not
We've
doing
been going an hour every single show.
almost. So yeah, we're just a free for all show at this point. However long it's gonna be that long. Screw it.
Yeah.
And
Deal with it.
yeah. So now the blog is gonna feature our MP3 downloads, our YouTubes, and also our opinions and stuff as well, and probably links to other sites as well. But we do hope you enjoy it and see what you get in the future. And maybe one more endeavor out there in the future that's going to be coming up soon. Ooh.
We're working on things.
Oh, yeah, we're working on things. Now, to start off the show, I got to correct something. I got to shout out my man Chase again from the Mario Kart 8 tournament and on Twitter. He had corrected me because I don't know why. It should have, it was an on-the-spur moment that I actually had to shout him out. I was like, oh, I should shout him out. And I was like, oh, maybe I should have remembered what a character he used during the tournament. Because I had said he had used a Lemmy, I believe, which was a light character, but he did not. He used the Ludwig. I don't know how you say his name.
Is that the wizard dude?
No. That's Kamek, or however you say his name. Ludwig is the dude with the gosh, I don't even remember. Oh no, the dude with the blue hair, I believe. Hold on.
Is he one of the Bowser things?
Yeah, he's one of the Koopalings. Yes, the Bowser things.
Oh, little baby Bowser things. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know this game. I don't even have a Wii U.
You know what? But you've seen it in Mario World and whatnot.
Assuming I've played those things.
You've never played Mario World? Really?
No, I played the first level of the new Mario Bros. U game.
Okay.
Not you. The Mario
Wii-
Bros. Wii
Yeah.
game.
Which was
You know what it is? It came with my Wii.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm going to play this game. And then I never played the game. Yeah.
that was to me out of all the clones, that's Ludwig with the blue hair.
Oh, okay.
Out of all the games that I've played from the new Mario Bros, I hated the one for the Wii. I played the one for the DS. The DS one was perfect because it was nostalgia mixed in with some new things. It was a good balance of everything. It was easy as hell,
Yeah.
but it was still a good game overall.
Well,
But
no, keep going.
the
my
Wii
bad.
the Wii version had no soul to me. I was just playing this flat nothing kind of a game where it's just there was no feeling towards it. I just beat it and I was like, okay, thanks. And that was it.
Well, my thing was that I had never played it. I had my Wii for a year. I had just never played it.
Mm-hmm.
And my cousin, who's 4 years old at the time, was like, I want to play Mario Brothers. And I was like, I have that game, I think. Yeah, I do. So I I got it, and I went to my room because I had my Wii downstairs because, I don't let people in my room.
Yeah,
But,
I know the whole schematics of your house. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I go upstairs, get the game, and I'm playing with him. And he was just so hard to carry because he's 4.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
he would always constantly be in the little bubble thing. And then I would get hit by something. I'd be small. I'm like, dude, you got to spawn into the game. He's like, okay. And he would go into the bubble thing again because I'm a gamer. I rush through the level. I don't care about collecting everything. He wants to collect everything. I'm like, stop collecting things. We're playing this game.
See, I collected everything in
No,
every game.
no,
I don't know.
no.
I like completing the game.
Yeah, you know what I do? I complete the game and then I go back and collect things.
Yeah, I used to be like that too, but now I'm a collect as I go. Unless I can't find it, then I was like, screw it. I'm just gonna have to play the game and
Yeah.
continue more. Now,
So, basically, to finish off my story, I was playing with my 4-year-old cousin. He was hard as hell to carry, and I lost interest in the game because of that.
yeah.
I never even tried it solo.
And to end off the new Mario Brothers discussion, the Wii version, and I forgot how bad it was. until I got this hack version or modded version of the new Mario Brothers for the Wii, which is called like newer Mario Brothers, and it still felt just as soulless. Like there was like nothing in the game that was exciting for me. But the Wii U version of Mario Bros. Was actually one of the best versions I've played, which I put it up there with like the other flat Mario's like Mario 3, Mario World, such like that. It was a very good game. It was very exciting and everything. So
You heard it here, guys.
and the Wii U, which was actually much better than that game too.
Still, I don't have a Wii U, so I haven't played those yet.
Yeah, but to close it out, but yes, I did have to make the correction that it was a Ludwig, not a.
You talked about Mario Kart. We ended up talking about Mario U, Wii, and all that shit.
Yeah,
So,
I know this is normally us when we're not on our plan and our path.
Yeah.
Now to start off with our video game stuff, I was on Twitch the other day, and I noticed a new category as I was flying by and just trying to find something to watch just while I was like doing research and reading news and whatnot. And I saw a category for music.
Yeah.
And I was like, what game is music? Like,
What?
I was highly confused. And then it's like a concert for Steve Aoki.
Steve Aoki.
Steve Aoki. Pff, yeah, now how I know.
Aoki.
Yeah, how I don't even know that guy's
He's a
name.
house DJ.
Yeah, I'd never heard of him until like last night. I had to look him up. I felt old or something.
He does this thing where he like hits someone in the face with a cake.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a shtick. It's a DJ.
No, yeah. Like when he's like, when it gets to a part where like the beat's building up or something, he goes and gets a cake out of nowhere and just goes like, ah, like a random audience member like hits him in the face. One girl actually like she's on her. Yeah, this is actually a funny story. We're gonna digress for one more moment.
Yeah.
This girl who was like gluten free got hit in the face with one of his cakes. And she like got all upset. She's like, "I'm gluten free. You just hit me in the face with a cake. Oh my god, I'm gonna die." And then Steve Aoki now has to use gluten free cakes when he does the cake smash because of one stupid girl.
Yeah. So, but I mean, the chat was going crazy with this dance emoji or whatever it was, and I was just like, I was gonna be a dick and I was gonna post, "Is this DJ Hero?" Like because it's Twitch. I mean, like
Twitch chat is so troll.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. But
No,
like,
it's Twitch chat. It's troll.
I know, but like I felt like nobody would see it with all the dancing like messages. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother. But
The graphics in this game are so good. Where can I get it, yo?
like, dude, it was so weird to see a concert on like Twitch. I mean, you know what? It's even weirder when like, I mean, I don't mind like podcasts on Twitch. I mean, me may aim for that one day.
Hey.
But because I see it. They're humans, whatever people. Because you mostly see games. You don't really see the person playing sometimes unless they put themselves in the corner.
Face cam or something.
Yeah, but when you see stuff like Cards Against Humanity being played or like Magic the Gathering, and it's like, that's weird. It's a card game. I mean, yeah, I get it. It's gaming in a way. I don't know.
It is.
But then you go completely left field and just have a random concert from Steve Aoki. Yeah.
Yeah. So my night the other night was I was watching Sharknado 2, the second one. That's what it's called. Sharknado 2, the second one.
I want to see it. I just don't.
It's hilarious. It'll be on all weekend.
Yeah, but yet I try to bring up the game.
No, the game is stupid. I don't care. But the movie is hilariously bad. And so I was watching the Sharknado 2, the second one, and it was like, because I follow all kinds of different things on Twitter, and all the people I follow who are game related were like, "Oh my God, Steve Aoki, have a concert! Everyone tune in!" I'm like, I'm watching Sharknado. What am I doing in my life? I should be watching this Steve Aoki concert, but I'm watching Sharknado. Yes.
Yeah.
So that was my night.
Everybody talked about Sharknado. I feel like
It was amazingly horrible.
I know, and I love bad movies that are
so
good.
fun to
Like I
watch.
love those. It's like I feel like at this point, like it's like hitting a peak of bad movies that people love watching. That like MST3K should come back. I don't know if you know that show.
B movies are the best.
But I don't know if you know that show, Mystery Science Theater.
No,
3000.
I do not.
It was a great show that aired like throughout like the 90s on cable, where it was just these dudes that was like stuck on a spaceship. It was a guy and two robots, and like in order for them to suffer in space, the experiment was that they had to watch bad movies, and in order for them to survive, they had to riff on it. And they did some great movies, like some great awful movies. Like some that come to mind, if people know, like the biggest one, of course, everybody mentions is Monos: The Hands of Fate, which you just have to see it to believe how bad it is. There's also like Santa Claus versus the Martians, which is another one that by the title itself, you can tell how great that movie is.
Amazing.
So, I mean, there's movies like that, and they've done it for like 10 years. I mean, some of the crew has split after that, so some of them still do like some side projects on it. Like one does Cinematic Titanic, where they do a live studio thing, and they watch the movie and they're on the stage, and you watch them do stuff and riff on a movie. And then the other part of the crew, which is basically three of the guys left, do riff tracks, which is basically you download an MP3, you pay for it, you kind of sync it up with the bad movie and watch the audio and hear them riffing on the movie you're watching, which is how they get around that now.
That's nice. That's awesome.
So, I mean, like, and you know what? And that bad movie thing, my girlfriend and I were talking about, like, bad movies and such. And for some reason, Cool as Ice came out. We talked about it. Have you ever heard of that movie, Cool as Ice?
I feel like I have.
It's
I'm not familiar.
It's kind of a autobiographical movie of the rapper Vanilla Ice. And starring Vanilla Ice.
Oh, yes. Awesome.
So it's I guess you can say it's almost like the 8 Mile, but not. I guess maybe because that's maybe the only way you can bring it. But
I don't know.
But my girlfriend's like, dude, you have to see it. I was like, you know what? I've had you sit through a few Mystery Science Theater 3000 episodes and worse movies. And, one day I still want to show her Snakes on a Plane because, you have to. That's one movie you still
That's an A movie.
Dude, that's like...
It was so promoted like in theaters and stuff. Like, Sharknado is clearly the B movie.
No, like, that movie was...
Sci-Fi Channel.
That movie
Asylum Films, yeah.
That movie was bad, but it was so good that it was bad. Like, it was so bad it was good. Like, that was one of those movies. Because it wasn't even supposed to be that type of a exploded movie. Like, it just started off as, oh... There's going to be a new movie called Snakes on a Plane with Samuel L. Jackson. And then the jokes came out like, motherfucking snakes on a plane. And then
tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
And that was the thing. Like, none of that stuff was in the movie. They actually took 5 days, like, to reshoot, like, most of that movie and then add all the stuff that people added onto it. So now it became almost a fan film, basically. That people, and that's why I was a part of that. Like, that was awesome. So that's, like, the movies I got to watch eventually.
What the hell are we talking about? Oh, we were talking about the Steve Aoki concert. Wow.
Yeah,
I was talking about my night.
Yeah.
I'm clearly selfish here. But anyway, the Steve Aoki concert, people are dancing, blah, 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 blah. Twitch chat, GJ Hero, blah, blah, blah.
Well, we can go into Comic-Con with that because you know what? We could even start with I don't know, we're not talking about gaming. We're going into it, guys. One thing I want to mention that's not gaming besides like, all the superhero movies and possible Deadpool movie, which is like, but like a movie screen was like kind of, or a test footage of it was leaked, and the Batman, Superman movie, which looks kind of awesome in some way. Which I really want to see more footage of it, not like a rain and then Batman and then Superman. Ooh, I really liked the what I think is interesting, but I don't know if it's. I think it might be too late. Is the Family Guy Simpsons crossover episode that's gonna be happening in September? I don't know. I feel like it's maybe 10 years too late.
Yes,
because it maybe should have happened like a long time ago. Because when the Simpsons always did a crossover with a show that's been canceled, like The Critic, like I've told you before, or like with King of the Hill, because I completely forgot that there was a crossover between, with The Simpsons and King of the Hill.
Yeah.
And though The Simpsons have parodied Family Guy and sometimes, like they've even had Peter Griffin like in the episodes and making fun of him or just referring to him that way, like as a ripoff or something like that.
And Family Guy's done that too.
Yeah.
They've made fun of The Simpsons.
Oh, and
just as many times.
And just as worse.
Yeah.
But now they're actually collaborating and working together in this special that's a crossover. And it's kind of cool in some way, but it's weird because it's just two different comedy styles. And, The Simpsons years ago was like what Family Guy is now. And if you think The Simpsons were soft, imagine how in the future that people are going to think of Family Guy soft compared to like the new cartoon.
Yeah.
So, but it's two different styles. It's weird. But I'd still watch it. And that's the messed up part. Like, I still want to be curious to see where the episode goes. Like,
yeah. No, they're working on you said canceled series and stuff. They're working on a Simpsons Futurama crossover, too.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that I would love to watch.
Oh, yeah, no, it's just like one more taste of Futurama before it like goes away for good.
Yeah, basically. That should be crowdfunded, dude. There's no way. That should have actually stayed on Cartoon Network. I felt like it could have been more successful on Cartoon Network than it would have ever been on Comedy Central. Yeah. But I think it was just the budget for the animation that they were looking for, which is what Cartoon Network probably can't support.
Yeah.
Even though I don't really fully believe that, because look at Black Dynamite, because that show was just amazingly well animated and really good. Like script-wise and story-wise, it's just funny as hell. And I feel like, I don't know, like that show, if it stayed on Cartoon Network, it probably would have been more successful. But that's the same thing with American Dad, where American Dad's canceled on Fox, but it's going to be picked up by TBS, which is under the same family tree as Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
But new episodes are going to be airing there versus on Fox, which who knows where the show goes from there. I love American Dad. I find it one of the better Seth MacFarlane shows. I can't stand Family Guy. That's why I'd put that aside to watch the Simpsons crossover.
Family Guy was a lot funnier back in the day.
Yeah.
I feel like lately Family Guy's been not that funny. The Cleveland show was an awful idea.
Yeah, it was.
Never would have made. American Dad, it was pretty funny. Still is. Sorry.
It's still the thing with American Dad is it's consistent. It really is consistently funny. Like there's not one episode that it's not the best though. I can name maybe one good episode that pokes out of my memory, and which is funny because it's not even a episode with the main cast, and it was the episode where what the hell's his name? This chick's boyfriend. Oh, why can't? Fisher. Why can't I remember his name right now? Do you remember the stoner dude with the hat?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't watch it enough to know the name.
Yeah, sorry. No, but he was on the spaceship, and basically, because he got thrown in because Roger was an asshole. So, and that's a whole other story in itself. But that one episode where he's trying to prove that he loves Haley, and he's on the ship for like no reason, and he was falsely proven that he didn't love her, and he fought for her and everything else. That episode was like one of the better, like well-written episodes. And just the fact that the character Jeff could carry an episode was actually kind of like brilliant to me. And that was funny because it's not even the main cast. But other than that, the show itself is great.
Yeah.
It's just consistent and it works in some weird way. And it's always like, it's not like it's Family Guy where it's very dependent on Brian and Stewie. And then Peter just stupid stuff. Yeah.
Being Peter.
Yeah. American Dad really depends on all its characters. So really one story could happen with like two different characters. And you can just pick two random ones, give them two separate stories, and their show still works in some way.
Yeah.
It's not really set on, it's just about these two this episode and everybody else supports. It's like, no, everybody's supporting in some way. And I think that's where it's brilliant in that aspect. But
getting back on topic.
Yeah, so Comic-Con happened, and mostly the thing that we concentrated on gaming-wise was Nintendo, because they really had a big showing in Comic-Con, like E3, where E3 apparently had people like fascinated so much that they were like, I want a Wii U now. And there's so many games coming out by the end of this year that it's going to be a crazy holiday season for the Wii U.
You'd hope so, because they are at a humongous debt.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Now, Comic-Con did show off Smash Bros. 3DS, which they had a tournament that went on for like a day, which I thought it was going to be 2 days, but apparently I don't know how many people entered, but a day happened. And there was one character that was picked that annoyed the hell out of everybody, even annoyed the hell out of you with some of the clips that you were watching.
Oh, yeah, no, I couldn't watch.
It was this She character, and I don't remember who the person was who played it, but the Sheik was so campy as hell where you couldn't really watch a lot of the
I got bored watching it. I was like, this is supposed to be a competitive match, but this guy's just he's playing like, needles and bombs. I'm just like, stop. You're annoying. Don't play like that.
And that's another thing too. Like he was campy as hell, like you said, like we were talking about. And everybody was complaining about him, the entire chat. Like, why is this guy... Like, people were like, I understand he's trying to play to win, but this is awful to watch and all this other stuff. And then some Bowsers came along and made it interesting.
Oh, that was fun. Because, Bowser doesn't really have range attack, so you're in. Like, you can't really be campy.
Yeah. Now, the grand finals ended up being a known player named Larry Lurr. He's known as other names as well, but I've now known him, really remember him as Larry Lurr. And then this other kid, Damien, which ended up being the grand finals was a Bowser Ditto, which is it would never happen in life ever.
Any other game ever, because Bowser's always been low tier.
Yeah, and so the finals was really interesting to watch. Like there was some other Bowser Dittos as well that happened in the tournament, and other matches that happened, but a lot of them weren't as exciting as the later matches would be without Sheik. Like if there wasn't for the Sheik character, it would be, it would have been an awful tournament. But now everybody thinks that Bowser's just OP now.
We haven't seen. Well, I'd assume we haven't seen the full roster yet.
Yeah, we
haven't seen most of the characters. I'm pretty sure this little demo didn't have every single character.
They claimed it was still the E3 demo.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like you haven't seen every character. You haven't. Maybe he's the best of the ones that are out right now. Maybe some people just haven't really ventured out to other things yet, but there's no way Bowser is going to be the top tier character in a game.
Yeah, like he's good. And the way Larry Lurr and Damien were using him was good, and it was entertaining, and it was fun to watch. But the game's going to change. I mean, look at how Brawl started and how people thought like certain people were like high tier characters, and then it ended up being Meta Knight, And where Fox, after all these years, and Melee is like to consider like the top
dumpster
tier. Yeah. But yeah, but when it started, Fox wasn't really considered like much, and now it's just like everybody's using Fox. The
Yeah.
20XX mode of Melee. You know.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. I did like it. The new Bowser's got some great moves though.
Yeah, no, his new kit is pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, and it also gives promise to the 3DS version, to where we've played it. We both know that the game's good. We've played it. It plays smooth. The controls you got to get used to, but it looks like it can be a fun game to play and a fun game to watch.
Watching that finals match, I did find something that was kind of pissing me off,
Which was
anytime you can get like an off-screen knock, that should kill. There should be no recovering from getting hit off map, off screen. Like,
yeah.
it bothered me so much watching people jump several feet off the map, hit someone sideways, and have them not die. Like, how far are these side boundaries that people are still living these hits?
Like, in all honesty, that's a thing I noticed even in the Wii U version, which is people would notice. People have also noticed during the E3 Invitational that there's just a lot of recovery. And we've noticed it even, I don't know if you noticed it during when we played it, but I know I noticed it. Like, I was in the air forever. Like, there was no reason why I was just knocked out at like 120%. And I'm like, oh, I'm still floating. I'm over here.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like if you're skilled enough to hit someone on an off-screen hit, it should be a kill no matter what.
Yeah.
And then to have to watch people live, it bothered me so much.
Yeah, it's the new game, man. I mean, eventually, there's probably going to be a solution to that. It can't just be like that forever. Things are going to change with when people play the characters and see who has what and who's more powerful, who's least powerful. You know, the tiers are probably going to get into play, even though tiers are like, but tiers in Melee and Smash in general works.
Yeah, I don't know. These guys were at, the tournament didn't show you the percentage, but you had to figure they were fighting for a while. They were probably in the 70s, 80s, maybe even the hundreds.
Yeah, they were in the hundreds.
And you were getting hit with an off-screen side air hit, and you weren't dying. And I was like,
yeah,
that should be a kill.
Like, you couldn't tell the percentage, which I didn't like, not seeing the lower screen. But you can tell they were over 100% because once you start smoking, because you turn like red and like you start like fuming for some reason because that's the new mechanic. That's a big hint right there that you're over 100% at least. And it was kind of hard to knock out the Bowser. It was 100%. That was Larry's, and then he got knocked out. But he ended up winning the tournament. He's the first Smash Bros. 3DS tournament winner.
Woo-hoo.
So shouts to him, of course. And now it's just basically we got to wait for the game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, the game's going to be coming out in September in Japan.
That's what I was about to say. It's going to come out in September in Japan, and that means that basically all the information is going to already be out about all the characters and all the ways to unlock them and all that stuff, instead of giving everyone else a chance to figure it out. I don't like that. I hate that. I think it should have come out universally.
No, that's what this last Smash Bros. Was. Remember, Brawl came out in Japan before America.
Yeah, well, that's how most most Nintendo games are, period.
Yeah.
But I liked what they did with Pokemon. It came out globally on the same day. So no one had it before. Obviously people had it before because, people would just do that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, there wasn't a humongous amount of leak, or there wasn't a humongous amount of like pre-information before the rest of the world had the game. No, for X and Y, there was basically, I don't know, it just, again, people had the game maybe a couple of days before, a week before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember the early leaks. I remember those stories. I remember a story where Nintendo representatives had to come knocking at the dude's door.
Yeah.
It was that serious. Like, we don't want you to play before it gets out.
Yeah, but basically, it was just, I don't know, everyone, because like, I hate going into a game knowing what I'm doing already. Like the fact that in X and Y, I kind of knew some of the battles, because there were early leaks. I was like, oh, the second guy's a rock guy, whatever. But I want a game where I don't know what's gonna happen. But obviously, in a game like Smash, I'm gonna be so curious that for the entire month that it's out in Japan, that's not out in America, I'm going to be like, I have to know. And so I'm going to ruin it for myself.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of Twitch streamers or watchers. I don't know if some of the players who are going to plan on streaming it has like the capture card that's famous out there, or a different capture card. I really think that's going to be exploding, kind of like how Mario Kart 8 did, where a lot of people in Europe had it the week of the game's release, which was supposed to come out on a Friday, and meanwhile people were playing it on a Monday, and it got to a point where like people were noticing a lot of people, like all these guys who would never probably get views and probably haven't gotten views since, were getting like hundreds and hundreds of views because people are watching this new Mario Kart game. And then
That's something no one has.
yeah, exactly. And I was interested too. It's like I was watching this French guy playing, and it was like France had got it, and other territories had got it, and it was only because like their store over there was releasing it early but at a higher price, and people were like, "Well, I'll buy it or whatever," and people were streaming it like that day, and so. Like you can only expect the same for Smash Bros. Maybe I don't know if the Japanese are still thinking the same, but
I don't know. There are people who went out and bought a Japanese 3DS so they can get the Japanese version a month or month early.
Yeah, spent all that money.
You went and bought a Japanese 3DS for $300.
Yeah,
to play one game 1 month early.
Yeah,
you're a cool person.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, he might be streaming it too.
All right, well, I'm thinking it's stupid. I'm not gonna go spend. Basically, this guy just spent $350 to play a game early.
Yeah, why not?
And he's not gonna buy it in America too.
Yeah, he probably is. Give Nintendo more money. Nintendo needs it anyway. The teaser for the later story. Now, staying on Smash Bros., there was a game that was being played on the Nintendo stream because it got really random at one point where Nintendo was doing challenges for games like, oh, just challenge in a speed run for Mario Bros. Or it was Mario Bros. And Luigi Bros. And who gets to beat the game first or whatever. And they were playing like random games, like one called like Euphoria, which I never heard of, and the game was just odd to watch. It was just weird.
Yeah.
Now, it was this one game that I never heard of called Mysterious Murasame Castle. That was like, sounds so bad me pronouncing it, but I wanted to pronounce it right. Now, this game came out in about the same time as The Legend of Zelda did in Japan only. So it was released for the Famicom. And nobody really knew of it, but apparently it was going to be released in the eShop at some point. I believe it's going to be this week of the show, or maybe next week, who knows. Now, it's funny because on Monday, during the post of the day for Smash Bros., guess what? The main character from the Murasame Castle is now in the game, but he's only an assist trophy.
Because Sakurai's a troll, of course.
Yeah, and I think it had a lot of people hype, especially in Japan, because, a few people know it outside of Japan, and, that's really hardcore gamers that have played, like, every game somehow, some way. Like, so to see this character was like, oh, okay, well, I don't know who this is. I didn't care. But other people were like, oh, dude, he's in the game. Oh, no, but he's, really? And Sakurai's message is something like, after all these years, he came out the same year as like, Zelda and this, that, and he's finally in Smash Bros. Here he is, but he's an assist trophy. So
got duped.
Yeah, duped. Yep. And one more thing on Smash, the Coro Tour, which is a tour, showing off the Smash Bros. Game. It's gonna be a 3DS of the final build of the 3DS game of Smash. That's going to be touring Japan for I don't know how long, actually. So this could be it. And if you're going to find any character reveals and whatnot, this could be the time. And if not, it's going to be shown at least in September.
Yeah.
Now, the magazine that's supposed to be showing everything is only going to be, how we reported, a Coro magazine, that they were going to show everything. And I was like, oh, we're going to only show some things that were already out there. Now, don't know if there's going to be any relevance for the Coro Tour, if we're going to get any details. I can only hope so. But this week on the post of the day on Miiverse, before the magazine has come out though for Coro, there's been a lot of stages announced for the 3DS version, like a Mario 3D Land. Oh, excuse me, a Paper Mario stage actually that came out. And another game for Pokemon, another stage from Pokemon that comes out. And people are saying, he's doing this before the magazine comes out. That's kind of funny. So people are noticing these things.
Nice.
So who knows, man?
Interesting.
Going on to Nintendo, because now we're going to talk about like general Nintendo stuff and their financials. Now, the end of June, from a period of April to the end of June, Nintendo showed that the Wii U sales hit like over 500,000 consoles and like 8,020 3DS handhelds sold in 3 months. Nintendo, to this point, has sold about 6 million 6.68 million units since it launched in 2012. It sold a ton more 3DSs. It's just I don't have an exact number on that one. And Mario Kart 8, since its release, has managed to sell 2.82 million copies in just a month.
Nice.
So that's great, but they suffered a loss of 9.47 billion yen, which is about relative to about $92.6 million, just about. Despite the strong sales of 74.6 billion, which is only down from last year's 81.5 billion yen. But Nintendo's still predicting that they're going to be making a year-end profit of about 40 billion yen.
Huh.
So, I mean, they got some confidence. They know they're losing money, but they're selling a lot, and things are turning around for Nintendo, especially since the E3.
Yeah, the E3 helped them out. They've said that their sales have been boosted immediately. Ricky just told you that.
Yeah, especially since the E3. It's the same thing for Sony last year, but it's still going for.
Oh yeah, no. When it was the Xbox 360, the PS3, and the Wii. The Sony was screwed.
Yeah.
The PS3 was sinking that company, and then they had E3 when they were just like, "How do you share games on the PS3? Here you go." And we were like, "Oh, I'm sold. I'm getting PS3, PS4,
PS4.
whatever." Like, I'm getting PS4. We're good. And
Yeah.
so that's why Xbox One right now is in the dumpster.
Yeah, well, they're
Also because they have their own problems.
Yeah, I mean, the Xbox, if it wasn't for like some patent lawsuits that Microsoft has won, that their division would be in the hole. But since they're making like millions and millions of dollars off of just patent like lawsuit wins, the Wii is, the Xbox is making some profit, but it's still like there's still debates internally whether they should break it off and make it its own division or just continue to go and see where it goes. But I mean, at this point, Microsoft's just abandoning everything where, it promised a whole entertainment system, and instead it's just another gaming console without a Kinect.
We talked about that last week, so
Yeah.
you guys can go check that one out.
Yeah. Now, still on the subject of Nintendo, Zelda Wii U, it's going to be set in a world without barriers, according to the creator himself. So Aonuma had said that the Wii U is going to be like, it's translated, and it's going to be it's going to be an endless world, but without barriers, and that Link will encounter plenty of mysteries and some tough enemies.
Cool. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a little open world-ish?
Yeah, it's almost. Someone had brought up a great point that I read online. It's almost going to be like the original Legend of Zelda,
I was say, yeah.
where it was just this big world, especially for the time, non-linear, so you had to kind of find the world yourself because you weren't given. If there was a map, you had to buy it,
Yeah.
like outside. You actually literally had to have a map in your room to kind of figure
Lay
out.
it down on the floor and be like, all right, guys, let's go left.
Yeah, like and you literally had to have a map to play that game if you didn't remember the game the first time, because you had to literally figure out everything. And the only hint you got was, I can't beat these enemies with what I have. Maybe I should go a different way.
All right, these guys are whooping my ass.
So to bring it back, because afterwards, Zelda 2 got a little linear. Link to the Past was very linear, but it was still just a good game. And even Ocarina of Time was linear as well. Every other Zelda has just been linear, except for Majora's Mask. It was linear in a way, but you also had a time travel aspect, so that kind of throws off that line a little bit. But that's a whole different thing. But a lot of the Zelda games have been linear, which is why they've broke from the tradition with the Link Between Worlds slightly, but they did it. And now they're going to try to continue that with the newer Zelda game, which I think is a good move.
That's cool. I like that.
Especially if you're going to have like a system with the Wii U and the way it is and the graphics that it can handle. It's not as powerful as the PS4 and Xbox One, granted, but it's going to be able to handle a lot better graphics, a lot of a bigger world, and a lot of exploration where it doesn't even matter. This game's going to be good.
You'd hope so. You'd have to hope so.
No, dude. I've had faith in the Zelda series for a long time. Granted, I have my love and hate relationship with the Skyward Sword, one of the last games, but I did have a love and hate with Twilight Princess, but even less because I liked the game more, even though there were some aspects that were like, Link to the Past and such, I consider one of like the best games, like Ocarina of Time, one of the best games, Majora's Mask, like some of the older games, but the newer ones haven't really lived up. I haven't played all the Zeldas, but that's besides the point with all that. But I do have faith in this new Zelda, and I think it's going to introduce something cool, something new, and something refreshing in the series that's been needed for such a long time.
Which, didn't they say there's going to be a different villain, a new villain? Or
Yes,
something?
there is. It's been announced that it's going to be something different. I don't know if it's going to be like before with Skyward Sword, where it was technically Ganon, not to spoil anything, but it kind of is and it kind of isn't in a way. But speaking of Zelda, Hyrule Warriors finally, is done. It was announced. When was it announced? Sunday, I believe.
100%.
100% done. So
now it's pretty much just like getting it copied and ready to go.
yeah, basically. And Nintendo's gonna do one more stream. I believe they're doing a stream like this week in Japan only. I don't know if people are able to access that. I was trying to read some more info about that, but the info that I'm really finding about a stream about Hyrule Warriors is the fact that it's going to be streamed all over the world August 5th. So I don't know if it's the same stream, if it's a different stream, but all I know is August 5th, new stream. Basically, every single thing about Hyrule Warriors is basically going to be announced, and that's it.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's done. Stream. End of story. So,
No, but definitely like the Hyrule Warriors. When I eventually get a Wii U, because I'm going to, it's not front.
it looks good.
Yeah, no, Hyrule Warriors actually caught my interest.
Yeah, it didn't at first for you. You were kind of like, eh.
Oh, I was just like, I'm not really a Dynasty Warriors type person, but like, I like the Zelda series, so to have a Dynasty Warriors with Zelda characters, I think that's pretty cool. Especially that they announced like Sheik's in it. That's awesome.
Yeah. Let me see. This Wii software is a Wii U edition new Legend of Zelda series. Faced with mysteries in the world of Zelda, spread indefinitely without boundaries. A new Link, a new Nemesis. That's from the Nintendo Japan's website. So
A new path timeline here.
Yeah. Again,
Again, no,
another
there's like
path.
they're all different.
Yeah. If the hero wins, if the hero dies,
Ooh.
a cop out. I still feel it's a cop out in a way.
Yeah.
So, and then one more thing of Zelda news. You can get Zelda costumes in the new Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. So you get some
Cool.
skins exclusive for the Wii U, which I think the game's only for the Wii U anyway for now. But
Yeah.
so
Maybe.
But
I don't know. I didn't look into it, so.
yeah. So going into Pokemon news though, because I know you had something interesting to talk about because you had sent me a link about a discussion about a Pokemon being possibly banned, which I was
Yes.
which I mean you said I probably wouldn't get it, and I didn't get some, but I got the gist of all right. This dude might be a little OP.
Well, basically, this is Smagon tiers. Like I said, it's the Smagon rules. So this doesn't apply to actually like, no, don't worry guys, no, you're not gonna log into your X and Y and be like, oh no, my Gengar right's gone. No, it's if you play by the Smagon rules, you already know that Gengarite, which makes Gengar evolve into Mega Gengar, is up for suspect testing. And Mega Gengar is already in Ubers, which Ubers basically is it's too strong for standard play.
Okay.
So it's up for suspect testing for something that's too strong to play already. So they're thinking about just Smogon, like if you want to play Ubers, you just can't use Gengarite ever. Like it's too strong for too strong. it's that's how, and then they're not only going to look at the Gengarite, but they're also going to possibly look into the ability Shadow Tag, which makes it so Pokemon can't switch out.
Which is awful.
It just makes it really hard to play against.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So if you switch in Gengar on something that can't touch it, it can't switch out. So basically, it's going to sit there while you set up and destroy it because it can't touch you.
Yeah.
And it's game breaking. And so that would ultimately turn Wobbuffet. It would turn Gothorita. Gothitelle. Whichever they evolve. I don't know. But it would basically turn a lot of Pokemon into completely banned as well.
Which is like it's just the move though.
It's an ability. It's not even a move. It's an
so
ability.
it is the ability.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a passive ability.
See, I wasn't sure about all that because I'm reading all this. I'm like, wait, like, is it just gonna be this one Pokemon? Is it gonna be a bunch? It was just.
That's if Shadow Tag gets suspect tested and confirmed that it's broken. Which
Okay.
I kind of, it's hard to say because there are situations in which Shadow Tag really screws you.
Yeah.
Because if you're in against a Wobbuffet, so all right, Choice Band locks you into one move.
Yeah.
And you use it for a physical attacker. and because choice band ups your physical attacks.
Yeah.
Guess what? If you know that person's locked into a physical move, you switch a Wobbuffet in and use counter, it's dead. Whatever it is dead because you can't switch out. You're locked into one move. He knows what you're gonna do, so you're gonna die.
It's almost it's a very OP though. I mean, very like broken in some way, man. Not even OP, just broken.
Yeah, it is, but it's part of the game right now, and so that's why for the longest time, or actually in Generation 4, when they introduced the passive abilities, Wobbuffet. Actually, Generation 3 is when they introduced. I lied. Gen 3 is when they introduced all these, and Wobbuffet was in Ubers. Gen 4, nothing changed. He was in Ubers. Because he was able to use the moveset. He was able to use Mirror Coat, which reflects magic, which reflects, special moves. Counter, which reflects physical moves, and he has like a 5 million health. So they throw back double damage on you.
Yeah.
So you hit him he's got no defenses, and he's got like a shit ton of health. So it's like you hit him for 200, he hits you for 400.
Yeah, that's...
Because you would use Mirror Coat, Counter, Encore, and... I don't remember the other move. It doesn't even fucking matter. Destiny Bond. For when you're about to die, you just Destiny Bond. You can't switch out. You're dead. And Encore would lock you into a move if you weren't choiced. And so he knew what you're going to use. And it's just like one or two things are going to die.
That's just a lot, dude. That's just too damn broken. I mean, so you're thinking at this point it's going to have to be banned.
No. Well, I don't think it's going to be banned because there are ways to deal with Shadow Tag.
Yeah.
Pokemon with Levitate, flying Pokemon, they don't get affected by Shadow Tag.
Okay.
So they can switch out. But if you switch, but it's hard to counterplay. So
but it's not impossible. Like you can't get out of that situation. Like you can get out of that situation, I mean to say.
Well, you can get out by death.
All right.
So basically Wobbuffet for the longest time was Ubers until Generation 5 when they nerfed Encore to 3 turns instead of 5.
Yeah.
And then Generation 6, Wobbuffet's still... But Wobbuffet's not even that bad. It's still like really strong. So Wobbuffet is in the borderline tier where you can only use him in OU and Ubers. And even then, like people are like, oh, using him in OU is still strong as fuck. So
yeah.
Or still strong as hell. So Wobbuffet... People always laugh at Wobbuffet because the cartoon makes him look like a joke, but he's actually such a strong Pokemon.
Yeah. Now, speaking of like more competitive Pokemon, they've already announced the Pokemon World Championships that's going to be live streamed August 16th.
Hopefully we won't have any Aegis Slashes and Dream Balls.
Still remember that then. That's a nice callback. Yeah, the Pokemon actually officially launched the official World Championships website. And they're going to be streaming it, as I said, August 16th and August 17th. They're having an opening ceremony, which I think is kind of funny. Like,
cool.
What is it, the Olympics? Like, you're going to have, Pokemon banging on drums and, lights and flashing.
Gonna make a cinematic for it?
Yeah, seriously. But
that'd be sweet as hell.
But I think that's kind of cool. I mean, this is not smagon rules, of course. This is regular.
This is the VGC rules.
Yeah.
Anything goes except for legendaries.
Yeah. So this is a whole different type of game. But I mean, are you still? I mean, like I've already talked about how I think it's boring. But I don't know if you're going to be tuning in for that.
It's boring to an extent. Yeah. When they start bringing out the cheese strats, then it's boring. That's why I like the smagon rules. There aren't really too many cheese strats you can get away with.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Now, going on to, I did want to talk about this real quick for now, and then Nintendo talk before we talk about the other companies, because, they're big as well. Bravely Default, real quick, has sold 1 million copies worldwide, which is really good for, like, an RPG that really wasn't thought to be, like...
Right, it wasn't heavily advertised.
Yeah, or even thought to sell that much. It thought it was going to be, like, a nice little quick, like, all right, here you go, JRPG fanboys have it. And people are like, oh, no, I really like this game.
Yeah, it was actually a lot of, I only played the demo because I never really got around to getting the actual game because I know that it's one of those games that I knew was going to take so much of my time that I just didn't have the time to play it.
The demo took a lot of my time.
The demo, I was in love with the demo. I was like, I was convinced I was going to buy the game after playing the demo.
Yeah.
And I never did. But there were some people at our radio station that bought the game because of the demo and stuff. So it was maybe in the future when I have more time, I can look and I'll buy it because I definitely want to. That game, I had so much fun playing just the demo. Who has fun playing the demo?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I do like, speaking of demos, I did like the demo for Tomodachi Life. It actually is convincing me to get the game, but because that doesn't take a lot of time to play. Like that's kind of like a Simsy type of game. You don't have to really like put a lot of effort into it. You can kind of like mess around and whatever with the Mii's, but it's really funny in some strange way that the personalities that you give your Mii's, like your friends and whatnot, are almost close to your friends in real life, and it's just really odd in what they do, like randomly. It's really interesting. It's the type of game you really have to play, because I couldn't call it when I saw tons of previews of it everywhere. It was like, oh, I don't know if I can like this game, and then you play, it's like I kind of like this game, and Bravely Default, I played it too, and I got into it, but I was like, this is going to take a lot of time in my life, and I have no time in my life to play this game, so I really couldn't get into that. But just the fact that the sales have hit that point is showing that maybe more JRPGs can be like that again, or even RPGs in general, because Final Fantasy took a very big, turn in where it was going, to where it's not really what Final Fantasy or RPGs used to be. It's a whole different monster now. Yeah. And then there's also other RPGs that are still existent. Like even what's it called? The one that was made by Studio Ghibli that was released. It was called like Ni no Kuni or something like that.
No idea.
It was a pretty good RPG that people love, but it didn't really get a lot of attention. But just the fact that this is getting some attention, it's getting it's positive for that.
Definitely, Bravely Default is a, from what I've played so far, is a great game.
Now, one other thing for Nintendo, I'm upset because the NES Remix, which, is a downloadable only game, which basically it's a game of playing old NES games and remixed, obviously with the NES Remix, to new challenges and crossover games. Like you'll have like Link and Mario Brothers game or whatever the case may be. Like it's kind of an interesting game. And I love it. And I got both versions of the game, 1 and 2.
So why are you upset about it?
Well, they're releasing a physical copy of it now.
Oh, yay!
Yeah.
Well, it's good for the people who haven't bought it.
Yeah, no. And I was just like, damn it. I mean, I'm probably gonna buy it anyway. Maybe when it goes on sale, like for $10 or something, like 2 years. But like, it gets me upset. It's the same thing with the Wii Sports thing, where they have a new Wii Sports for the Wii U, which is revamped stuff, and you can play online, and it's really cool. I really do like the new Wii Sports. It was supposed to be digital download only, but you can also rent it if you want to for a day. Like, say if you want to have some friends over and it's like, hey, let's play Wii Sports, and you pay like $3 and you can play it all day, whatever. You have 24 hours, or you can, but you have to buy the game you want to buy. It's like $10, which is great for me. But now they're also they have released the physical game of that. I'm like, damn it, but I still think it's not worth it. I would still just buy the bowling and the baseball, because the tennis is like, eh. The golf.
I like the tennis.
The tennis is for me. I never even tried it. I don't care about the new one.
Oh, my friend and I, we had so much fun playing tennis back in the day.
And the golf, which I'm just kind of like, I never tried it. But the new mechanic is the fact that you can use the Wii U pad to put in the ground.
Oh, that's cool.
And you use the Wii remote to kind of hit it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. But the boxing got worse, and I thought it was the only one that thought it was worse. I thought it was a lot better on the original Wii Sports than on the Wii Sports, whatever the hell it's called, whatever the new one is. It's not Resort, which is another thing too. The Wii Sports Resort games haven't made it, like the sword fighting game or like the jet ski. Like those games were awesome.
The sword fighting one was fun.
Hell yeah. But going back to the boxing, it's awful. Because they should have just left it with the nunchuck. Because they give you an option of 1 Wii Remote Plus or 2 Wii Remote Plus. Now, you would think, oh, snap, like I get 2 Wii Remotes, I get it in my hand, and I can box like freely. Like I can do whatever the hell I want.
So how is this wrong?
Well, the game doesn't read what you're doing correctly at all. Like it when you think you're jabbing, you're actually doing an uppercut when you're
doing
like,
a haymaker.
Yeah, and you're not doing anything.
I want to block haymaker. Like no, that's not what I want to do.
Yeah, like the game does not read what you're doing, and I've tried multiple ways to fix it, and it just doesn't work. Where I'm like blocking when I'm trying to punch, and when I'm punching, I'm not punching in the way that I want to.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Where the original Wii Sports,
I would get mad and throw something,
throw the Wii remote into the TV like everybody else. Now it worked for the Wii Sports because it was like it had more precision. This game, it's like, no, what is this? What am I doing?
Yeah.
So, and then to end our Nintendo talk, because we talked a lot about Nintendo, we had talked about before how they had how Nintendo registered for quality of life in Europe. They had a trademark for it. There is 3 trademarks in the U.S. for quality of life, and now they've also had the trademarks in Japan as well. So they haven't talked about what the quality of life project is. That may be their next console. That may be their next thing, whatever the case may be. But
I don't think it's gonna be a next console. I think that the Wii U is now just starting to pick up. You're not gonna go, all right, the Wii U's picking up. Let's abandon it. New console.
No, it's not to abandon that. It's probably going to be because you have to realize they have to take years to make a new console anyway. So
That's true.
yeah,
It could be the future.
exactly. Now, I do want to focus on China a little bit because we did talk about how there was a console ban in China for years, and the Xbox One will apparently pop the cherry of China again for being the first home console, and it would be the first home console in China since the PlayStation 2. Now
That's a long time.
That's a very long time. I mean, granted, like we said, there was a gray market or a black market there that
You were able to buy consoles from.
Oh yeah, and not only that, have it super modded. Like I said, I still love an article where I read where people were just coming and be like, I want my PS3 and Xbox 360 together, and they're like, okay, and they made like basically a custom computer tower with both consoles.
PS360.
Yeah, and 360 bucks, PS360
In a
bucks.
world where you can have both
Yeah.
in one console.
So now that the Xbox One is going to be released there, the other companies have to follow suit as well. Nintendo did talk about that they are going to bring a console to China. I think I've talked about this before on the show on this show before, where they're not going to release the Wii, they're not going to release the Wii U. They're making a console specific for China. Now, what Sony is going to do, they haven't really announced it. Who knows if it's going to be the PS4 or what, if they're going to go the route of Nintendo or if they're even going to bother with China. I mean, hey, the PS2 is there. I mean, you skip the PS3 unless you're going to just release the PS3 anyway.
You might as well go new gen.
Yeah, might as well, because you know what? They also have the PlayStation Now, which is another thing that that Sony has been doing that it's getting panned critically for now, even though it's open beta at this point, so anybody can try it. But there's conflicting reports about it. Now, we talked about the PlayStation Now, which is a streaming service that is available which is going to be available for every Sony PlayStation console that can stream, like PS3, PS4, the Vita, and certain Sony TVs that can have this service available, that you can play PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 games, basically everything all around. Now, this service was kind of bad from what we've read before, where, you know, if you wanted to rent Guacamelee, like if you wanted to rent it for 90 days, it was like $15. Meanwhile, for $15, you could actually download the whole game and play it whenever the hell you want. And things like that.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
Now, there's more reports that I was reading that you can, like, the prices are ridiculous, but when I'm reading in the comments, it's like, well, this site said it's this price. And apparently different, since it's a beta, it might be different people getting different prices, and maybe Sony's trying to see which are more popular, which are people going to buy for, and what price. It's
So some people are getting ripped off.
yeah, and then some people are just like, eh. Like, let's look at F1 2013, PS3 game. Now, if you want to rent it for 4 hours, it's $7. 90 days, $50. And in between 7 days, $11.99, 30 days, $22.99. It's like, might as well just buy the game.
If we're gonna have it, like, I'm gonna buy this game for 90 days and pay full price.
Yeah.
You might as well buy the game. This is so dumb.
Yeah, and apparently the prices are different for different people. Why, I don't know. But the other thing is, too, what Sony had promised with the PlayStation Now is that you can play everything. Like I mentioned, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 games, whatever the case may be. Well, there's only PlayStation 3 games out at the moment.
Well, I mean, it's still early on, so
Yeah.
you might later on, maybe they haven't uploaded everything. Maybe they're. I think the database will grow if the program even grows. This sounds like a complete load of crap.
Yeah. Now, one writer for Kotaku, because it really caught my eye reading this article. He was talking with Jack Busser, a senior director for PlayStation Now. Now, he just kept asking him about the PlayStation. Okay, what about PS1 and PS2 games? Now, the guy, Busser, basically said, currently for open beta on PlayStation 4, we're going to be focusing on PlayStation 3 games. This will be integrated into the PlayStation 4 in the US and Canada. In terms of devices that will support PlayStation Now, we're expanding from PlayStation 4 and applying the open beta to PlayStation 3, PS TV, and Vita. And then when the ultimate vision of PlayStation Now is to support a wide variety of devices. And And then he had to ask, because even the writer, the person who conducted the article, Jason Schreier, he was like, well, I didn't mean the devices. I mean, what games will you be able to play? And then he went on about the beta launch and this is that. All right, and he goes, all right, look, I'm pushing. And he heard a rumor, and this was interesting, that I didn't know there was a rumor that they changed the plans about the PS1 and PS2 games being available on the PlayStation Now.
So this is just like the Xbox entertainment system all over again. We're going to promise you something and then not deliver. Awesome.
Yeah. And now here's the thing. The answer to that and him pressing a little bit. One thing I want to stress is that we're in the early days of the beta. We're going to launch an open beta on PlayStation 4, and we're going to focus on PS3 titles. And he gets going on about basically what he just said, and it's just dodging the question, which I thought was like, okay, just say yes or no.
Hey, guy, are you or are you not going to have PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games? Yes or no?
So now, in response, Sony actually wanted to say it. So now the publisher of PlayStation Now sent some clarification. We are also currently considering measures to offer original PlayStation, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 4 titles in the future, but at this time, only PS3 titles are being offered.
That's what he should have said in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have answered all the questions.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
God, are you a jerk?
Seriously, come on now.
Pharrell, man.
Yeah. Now,
not even the rapper.
Now, PlayStation 4 is doing very well. Where the game department has actually contributed to a lot of the profit to Sony, which is great because Sony was about to fall into the toilet. We've talked about this many times.
Yeah.
They have made 4.3 billion yen, which is about 41.7 million in the quarter of this year.
Nice.
Which is
impressive.
Yeah. And now they combined the sales for like PS3 and PS4, but still, like for
still, as your company was about to sink, and now welcome back to the boat.
But they are going to have to give some money away though, because Sony actually agreed to pay $15 million in settlement for the PSN hacking.
That's all right. You can afford it now.
Yeah. So now you can get your one game that you wanted for $10, maybe, if you were a part of that hack, I guess. So. Yeah. So the judge won't rule into the settlement until May 1st, but if it goes through, Sony will notify US gamers via publications and on websites. And you have to file a claim like always with these things. So you're not going to be paying, whatever, $15 million. So, whatever many, they're going to have to split it up. So, yeah. Who knows where that's going to go. Now, I wanted to go into GameStop because I thought it was really funny that the GameStop president had to mention that only 40% of their customers know that they accept trade-ins.
Really? I feel like that's kind of the main thing about GameStop. Other than the fact that they sell games, I feel like everywhere you go, like they had those commercials that were like, sell your games, trade your games, blah, blah, blah. Like,
but it's such a joke. I mean, here's the quote. The biggest opportunity with trades is awareness. Believe it or not, only 40% of the people who walk into a GameStop store today know that we accept trades of games. But then again, it's like, yeah, because the 60% just like know that it's a scam if they try to trade the GameStop. That's why.
That's true.
Because, I love watching Smash.
You bought this game for $60? I'll take it back for $7.99.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, what? Screw you.
And
then I'll try to resell it for $50. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You're a jerk.
Yeah, like who does that? Like that's why, like I said, I love Smash. We both love Smash. One of the commentators in one of the tournaments had talked about like if it was like an awful move and like how they talk about trades. Like it was like if it was like that, it was a really bad trade. They called it a GameStop trade. And it took a while for people to get it. It's like, oh, GameStop trade, duh, you get nothing in return.
Yeah.
So, and that's a common joke, but it's a real thing. I refuse to bring anything to GameStop because I know if I can put the same game I want to trade in on eBay and get like twice or three times the money I could get at GameStop.
Yeah.
I've literally traded a game in for $1 and I was pissed and I took it and I just walked out because like, you know what? I didn't think about selling it on eBay. And then I've done it. And I've made a lot of money. So, I mean, no, I'm not for the GameStop. Unless they advertise for us. I mean, then kind of have to at that point. Hey.
They don't.
No, I know. So for now, whatever.
For now, screw you.
Yeah,
jerks.
Seriously. So,
I take that back.
Yeah, no, we should. Whatever. Who cares? Who knows we're even going to get sponsored at this point? Who cares? We're just doing this show for fun.
The dream, man.
The dream of just entertaining people. That's all it is at this point.
We're here for you.
Exactly. Now, another thing about GameStop, which I also found interesting before we go on to Microsoft stuff, is that GameStop is supposedly going to be introducing a credit card.
Okay. Rewards points to buy video games.
Yeah. Let's see. The interest rate of the credit card would be 26.99%.
That's awful. Who in their right mind is gonna?
That's an awful interest rate for like anything. What?
That's terrible. That's terrible. I don't even have words. What is this? If you spend $10, you're gonna owe them an extra like $2.50.
Yeah, exactly.
If you spend $100, you owe them $25. Get out of here. You're dumb. No.
Hell
Screw
no.
you.
So the card will be closely tied with the program's Power Up Rewards program, and it will reward customers with 5,000 points for basic members, and then 15,000 points for pro members if you get the credit card. Ooh, those points for...
Oh, that's not worth the interest rate. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. What do the points do?
Economics.
What do the points do? I've had these points for like years.
They let you get discounts on games, or sometimes if you have enough points, you get a free game or something.
Oh, I get that from like GameFly all the time. Like I could spend like $5 on like a used game and basically get the game for free. Like, you know. Anyway, now smoothly going into Xbox news, I wanted to start off with Best Buy and their glitch in Canada. Now, you know, I love it when a store messes up very badly. My favorite one.
I love this story, by the way. The story had me rolling.
Now, my favorite one was from last year. I believe it might have been Best Buy, too, by the way, speaking of Best Buy, where they were selling games that were like full price, like $60 or whatnot, for like $5 by accident. So they struck again, this time in Canada, where the Best Buy Canada was selling an Xbox One with Rayman Legends. You know, I mean, who didn't want that bundle? For the lovely price of $45.
Amazing. Like, what kind of employee do you have to be to realize that this isn't right? Someone comes up like, "Hey, I'm gonna buy this Xbox One," and I'm like, "All right, cheap, $45, please." Like, wait, that doesn't sound right.
Well, it wasn't in the store. You had to actually buy it online and pick it up like 5 minutes later, like literally. So there were people who ordered it and people who got it. So some people, their orders got canceled while they were on their way. There were very few people who actually picked up their Xbox One with Rayman for $45 and got away with it. So no problems. So, and I love when things happen like that. I mean, that's why I stay on like Cheap Ass Gamer, like, you know, it's a message board for games and stuff. But they're on their stuff like that. When something happens like that, that's how I found out about the last time. I was like, damn it, I missed out on that.
That's funny though.
Like, I remember that other one where the games were like super cheap. This guy had bought like Grand Theft Autos for like the price of one, and basically like sold them. You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
right.
what do you really need those copies for if you're not going to sell them? You know?
Yeah, no, there's no reason.
Yeah. So. Microsoft. Well, we actually talked about Microsoft, actually. So we don't even need to talk about that. We could talk about just general news at this point. Now, I did want to mention this during the Pokemon talk, and we didn't, because I was kind of wondering if Twitch Plays Pokemon was still like, in existence this week. And I was like, oh, I wonder. And I was going on the websites, and I was like, oh, well, what do you know? It still is. I read a blog. It's like, oh, now they're playing X and Y.
I guess they must have completed. I watched the first one because that's the golden one.
Yeah, that was a gold.
And then I watched number 2, the gold and silver.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I watched the first episode of the Ruby, or the first couple of hours, I should say, of when they did Emerald. And I was just like, it's kind of old. I'm done with this. And I guess they must have finished. They must have finished a couple of generations since then, because now they're on generation 6.
Yeah, like, dude, I still remember when they started the DS touchscreen. Like, I remember I tuned in one time randomly, and they were testing it out before they went to the DS generation of the Pokemon series, to now where they got the did X and Y. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't as exciting, but I saw it. I was like, oh, okay, they're still playing, and then I left. So
yeah, no, I'm over it.
Yeah, I was over it. I mean,
it had its. I could more than 15 minutes. It had its like, you know, a month of fame, I guess, because it was wildly popular.
Yeah, the Pokemon Red of the beginning of that was like really cool, man. I really liked that. That was like one of the most that was the most fun thing ever. It really was. And then it just really died down so quickly, except for Gold, when at the end they had to fight themselves. That was kind of cool.
That was really cool.
Yeah, but who knows? Now, we don't really talk about analysts and what they have to say, because a lot of them can be wrong.
Well, an analyst is more of like a I guess one person's opinion about something.
It really is, because they're supposed to be experts and they're predicting things, and things sometimes may be wrong.
Yeah, anyone can be an analyst. Doesn't mean you're good at what you do. You just mean I'm an analyst. Look at me. I'm analyzing a situation.
So this one analyst had talked about how he doesn't see the Wii U catching up. Here's the statement. Here's what I love. He doesn't think that the Wii U is going to catch up to the PS4 and the Xbox One in terms of sales, which is already wrong.
Oh yeah, it's already ahead of the Xbox.
Yeah, the Wii U is already ahead of the Xbox One. Like its only competition still to catch up is the PS4, but the PS4 is like doing ridiculously well.
Yeah.
Now, like the analyst had said, they have a relatively good games pipeline, but the big question is about the hardware. The Wii U is so far behind right now, and the perception of the audience is that it's a relatively underpowered console compared to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One is now pretty firmly cemented. Given how inaccurate some Nintendo's forecasts have been going into their results in terms of hardware and software sales in the past, I'm not optimistic. Now, even though a lot of people have been turned around because of the E3, a lot of people have a high interest in Smash 4. There's even a lot of hype for Hyrule Warriors, which I didn't expect. It
caught my attention.
Yeah.
I've said this already.
And there's a bunch of other exclusives coming out this year, like the Captain Toad game, which I didn't know people would be into that game as much, and people really want that game. And other games along the line, it may turn around at this point because you can't really go wrong, because at this point Nintendo has a lot more exclusives coming out for its console than the other consoles. I mean, look what the other ones have. They have Destiny, and that's shared between them.
Yeah, we had talked about this already. The Wii U, when it came out, didn't have the games that it needed to. That's why it didn't really sell.
Yeah,
but now the games are coming out. It's starting to sell. It's shown that from E3.
It was starting to sell with the Wind Waker HD. Like, it really turned it around, but not a lot. But it's like solidified with Mario Kart 8, and now I think it's going to be even more solidified with Smash Bros.
Definitely.
Speaking of Destiny, the beta had came out this weekend, like a full open beta, which kind of sucks for the people who pre-ordered it to just get the beta.
Yeah, right.
But it seems to be a lot better than the alpha. People love this game. So far, there has been not a lot of negative things to be said about Destiny, and now that the beta is closed, now it's just to wait for September for the game to come out.
Yeah, I had talked to I had talked to a couple of people who played the beta, and they said it was fantastic. So I have been bashing Destiny for almost this entire podcast, and now I'm taking it back, guys. I mean, I haven't played it, but I'm going to take it back and say that it's looking pretty good.
Well, here's something interesting. The Activision exec, Eric Hirschberg, had said that 4,638,937 people played the Destiny beta. Really just specific.
Yeah, right? We counted every single person who ever logged into the game.
He said that this is the biggest beta of this console generation by a wide margin, and it's the largest console beta ever for a new video game IP to date. Now, let's see. Let's compare that to the other big betas that has come out on consoles ever that we can compare it to.
There's a pause for a reason. Maybe Titanfall might be the only one, because of its generation, of the generation that just came out, I don't know, a few months ago.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. Like, this generation's only like a year old or 2 years old if you still want to count the Wii U.
If the Titanfall beta didn't come out, it'd be the only beta of its generation. That's why it has the biggest numbers. Like, shut up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like, yeah, the number's nice, but you can't really say it's like it's the biggest. But what other beta releases are there going to be?
Yeah, and you also don't know about the future. Hope just because of this, I hope something beats the Destiny beta, just to like, screw you, guy.
I'm gonna claim right now the Smash Bros beta had a lot better. I mean, look at the turnouts for everything.
Yeah, but was there 4,637,323? Like, I don't know. It's just, why are you no? I don't know. I don't have words.
Yeah,
I have words. They're bad words. I'm not gonna say that because then this will be, no.
Yeah. So
frustration.
Sticking with Activision for a little bit, Call of Duty. They opted not to have teleportation grenades in their game because as according to them, it's not realistic.
It's not realistic for the future, man.
not realistic to the believable thing. So here's a quote. The team had to make sure that the technology of 50 years in the future had to be grounded in today's reality of military research. Really? Some things were totally unbelievable, so the team took them out. For example, a teleportation grenade. It could also transport you instantly, but it doesn't exist. But they did include military realities like drones, vertical wall climbing, directed energy weapons, hover tanks, hover bikes, smart grenades, and heavily armored soldiers who guard checkpoints.
I think teleportation grenades would have been awesome.
It would have been amazing.
It's not believable, but this is a game that's supposed to be in the future, so...
You know what? Just have liberties at this point. You gotta, if you want to make this series fresh. I mean, I don't know. I feel like people are getting turned off to this game because it's trying to be a fresh, new thing. If you do want to get a new audience at this point, and you really should, because the game's like getting known
it's repetitive.
Yeah, it's just getting known to be the same old shit every time. Just make something, just go crazy. Just teleportation grenades, everything. Just, you know, at this point, screw it. Just go nuts. Don't make it like Destiny. Don't make it like, don't make a sci-fi game, but make something that's going to be fun for everybody.
I don't know. In a way, I could feel like teleportation grenades, though, might be a really bad idea.
It's going to be OP.
Well, yeah, like, where's the highest point on this map where no one can see me? Teleportation grenade. And you teleport up there and you start sniping people and no one can get you. That's annoying.
Yeah,
I can see why teleportation grenades would be a terrible idea.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's funny that you talked about a first-person shooter like that. There's actually a indie game, a first-person shooter. It's called Screen Cheat. Now, how do you win? You have to actually do something that's like against the rules in every shooting game.
Cheating.
Yeah, you have to actually look at the other person's screen to see where they are and find them and shoot them that way. Now, I remember,
wait, hold on. I didn't read this one, but I have a theory, right?
Yeah.
Is everyone invisible?
Let's see. I don't believe so. I don't think they're invisible.
That'd be cool if you're invisible. You can't see each other, so you have to look at the person's screen to see where he is. That'd be so cool. I'm gonna invent a game like that. Patent it now. Bam.
Boom. That'd be kind of
invisible guys.
Oh shit. Yeah. You know what? Everybody is invisible.
Oh, damn it. Screw you guys. You took my idea.
Yeah. So everybody is invisible. Because they didn't read it. Because I saw screenshots. I was like, we should talk about that. Yeah, everybody's invisible. And you have to look at the other person's screen. Because, that was like the golden thing. I still remember playing GoldenEye.
Oh, yeah. No, that was a massive screen looker. Are you kidding me?
But why
I was
not?
a jerk. I was a jerk.
How could you not look at the same screen? I mean, come on now. You had a map. But
playing Halo 2, just
yeah.
screen looking. People are like, why are you looking at my screen? I'm like, I'm not looking at your screen. I'm looking at your screen.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. You're on one screen. You can't help but look at the other screen. Come on now.
I'm looking at the corner of mine, looking at my health, and I'm like, oh, I saw your screen. I see you walking around the corner. Let me conveniently walk around that corner too. Oh, I got you. You're dead.
Yep. Now, going to other companies, because Ubisoft wanted to have this competition, which promises to let one person become the first person to ever play a video game on Mount Everest using custom-built hardware to withstand the harsh conditions. But it seems to have already been done.
Huh?
Not on purpose, though. Now,
did someone bring like a Game Boy up there by?
It wasn't even close. It was a DS, not the DS Lite. It was the original DS. Now, this is back in 2005. Somebody had brought up they had brought up a bunch of electronics. These guys, they had a thread found in 2005 by this guy. Now, he and his colleagues took a bunch of electronics with them, and that was the only one that withstood all the conditions.
Huh.
So here's his breakdown. We totally had so much electronic equipment, and the DS held up at the best of any of it. I'm going to just cut it short for like this. So CB radio, we had to bring back to life. Because of the wind and cold, they had a Dell computer that got fried, a Polytechnic screen that went out. We had 3 of the 4 MP3 players go bad, but the Nintendo DS units kept hanging in there, and actually this Nintendo DS suffered the worst. They were constantly with them in the cold and the moist, so the packs and the suffered a lot of wind blast. They were dropped. The Sherpas would eat the heck out of them, and they would play them in the kitchen, and where the curry would get spit on them and everything, and they kept on going.
Nice.
So
Ubisoft already lost.
Yeah. Now,
sucks to say that, but hey, good for the DS.
Yeah.
It's a hardy system. I've dropped mine several times.
Dude, I dropped mine and the freaking hinge cracked. I was so mad.
You mad?
I was mad. I haven't touched my original DS in years, but it's such a clunky, small screen thing. I just can't anymore. But now, if anybody's ever played Tekken, I know you play Tekken.
A little bit, yeah.
Now, there was a storyline within Tekken that may be coming to an end. According to a reporting from Comic-Con, from Polygon, they had the stories about the next round of the King of Iron Fist tournament. Along with saying that the Mishima family drama will be resolved in Tekken 7. Now, I don't know much of the story, but if there's been a storyline that's been like throughout the entire series that's finally going to end in one game, that's kind of weird in some way. I don't know.
Maybe they're just tired of, like, I can't see why you'd stop making Tekkens. Like, I'd be like, oh, maybe they're just going to stop making Tekkens, or maybe they're going to stop making Tekken stories. I don't know.
Yeah, well, they're not going to stop making Tekken, but at least that one storyline is going to come to an end. I don't know how, but it is.
Everyone's gonna die.
Imagine. And funny enough, during Comic-Con, they talked about the Tekken X Street Fighter that never came out yet. That was supposed to.
Like 5 years ago?
Yeah. It's coming. It's still in development.
Christmas is coming too.
Yeah, no. It's been in development forever. Who knows? I don't have faith in that game anymore. Now, Last of Us, the HD remaster, whatever the case may be in that game, Last of Us Remastered is going to be coming out. And it's getting a lot of reviews, rave reviews, like, it's still a great game. And I mean, I never played the first one. I still want to. I don't know if at this point, if I ever get a PlayStation 4, maybe I should get it for that. But people like it. Not much really to say about it, but the fact that other than the game itself, there was a one night only play that was broadcast live during Comic-Con, which I heard was pretty good, but I never really cared about the game so much because I never played it, so I didn't want anything spoiled for me or nothing like that.
It's funny though. Someone put up a picture of the PS3 version and the PS4 version next to each other, and maybe it's just me, I couldn't tell the difference. So I was like,
I couldn't tell either. In all honesty,
I was like, huh.
And
it's even the same.
It's even funnier because there is an option for you to break it down or turn it down to 30 frames per second versus 60 frames per second.
Well, what's the point of buying the HD if you're just gonna play it on LD, LOD?
The new graphics, man.
Yeah, but like, whatever. We've discussed this in a previous section too. Check it out.
Yeah, remakes and how awful they are. But then The Last of Us, besides it being a musical that was aired one night only, which I heard was really funny and really interesting, The Last of Us is going to be a motion picture too. Yay, the movie.
That might be pretty cool.
It may, but I never played the game, so I don't know.
Video game movies are dumb.
Yeah, they are.
I wish that video game movies were made well. Like if you put me in charge of directing a video game movie, I'll make sure it's exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
it's just that the wrong people are directing these movies, and that's why they suck.
Exactly.
Doom.
Like, but basically, a lot of the movies in gaming do suck. Even like some of the Resident Evil ones. The first one was decent, but the rest of them sucked. The only one that was really acceptable was the Mortal Kombat movies. But they, as cheesy as they were still.
They should. I definitely want them to remake those now that we have better technology. Because those were released in the 90s.
Yeah.
90s didn't have the technology to make those movies correctly. Now that we have that technology, I would love to see the Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah.
Which actually, there was one in the making, but I guess they canceled it.
Yeah, it was supposed to be, because it was supposed to be a trilogy, and then they never got to the third one.
No. They were going to reboot and start all over.
Yeah, they did, and then that series ended up on YouTube.
It ended up on the YouTube series, and it was horrible.
Really?
It was okay. It's just that it wasn't what I expected it to be.
Yeah.
And then they released the second season.
Yeah.
And Ermac was a zombie. Like, I get it. He's the keeper of souls, and he's made up of all the people he's killed, souls and stuff. But he doesn't look like a zombie. He's a ninja.
Yeah.
Like, this is retarded.
Now,
excuse my my language on calling something retarded.
Yeah.
Some people get offended by that.
Yeah, but it is what it is. Now,
retarded.
No, but I mean, even think about like Mario Bros. The movie and how awful that was. They try to make it very accurate, but it wasn't. I mean, I don't know if you should have gone accurate with Mario. Like, I mean, you were losing your accuracy when you had a Puerto Rican play Luigi. Like, that was an Englishman playing Mario.
True that.
But I mean, Mario is going to be on the big screens again, supposedly in the future with Wreck-It Ralph 2. Maybe this time Nintendo. Like, there really should be if there is going to be a Mario movie, let Nintendo have some sort of creativity or some creative like edge to it. Yeah. Have one of the big companies, maybe even Pixar or like DreamWorks or someone work on it that can treat it with some respect. Because that's the thing. A lot of the game movies that come out aren't treated with a lot of respect. Like, they're just made horribly. And even the ones that like what was the one with Mark Wahlberg? Marky Mark. I always call him Marky Mark no matter what. He did Max Payne. And,
yeah.
and that movie wasn't that great, but that was because that was a video game based on movies. So how do you make a movie based on video game based on movies?
I don't know. There is one that I have hope for.
Which one?
The Warcraft movie.
Yes, and that is going to be made.
They haven't released any footage yet, but I've heard that the reason it's taking so long to make is because they're trying to get this like as close to Warcraft as possible.
Yeah.
Which I was a huge Warcraft player back in the day.
Yeah, so maybe that'll resurrect it and bring it back to life. I mean, Blizzard has enough money anyway, but
I'm done with that. I'm done. let's be real. That game consumed life.
a lot of people have killed themselves over that game.
I know. I was going and like I almost failed out of high school.
Yeah.
I neglected my friends, my girlfriend at the time.
Yeah, people have lost lives and have killed themselves or lost their jobs, lost money because of that game.
No, that World of Warcraft destroyed me.
Yeah.
I'm actually I had a relapse last summer.
Uh-oh.
But I had a free trial. So once the free trial was over, I was like, no, I'm not going back. But before that, I was 2 years off. Or no, it wasn't 2 years. I don't remember. I was like maybe a year and a half off. So if you don't count that little summer lapse, I'm basically like 3 years clean of Warcraft. And I'm just like, I feel like it's like, Warcraft Anonymous. Like, I went to rehab.
I'm Steve.
I'm clean.
I'm Steve and I'm a WoW addict. Hi, Steve.
I'm Steve and I'm Warcraft clean for 3 years. Anyway, so I because I know the series and I played Warcraft 3 and Warcraft 2, Warcraft 1, all that stuff. I have hope for this movie. They say it's gonna be revolved around the orcs and the human story. So when they announced some stuff, they're like, oh, it's gonna be based on 2 tribes. I was like, oh, you can just do the Horde and the Alliance. But they recently came out and said this is going to be orcs and humans. So I'm like, why not the trolls? I like the trolls. I like the undead.
Yeah.
Jerks. But hey, I'm interested to see where this is going.
I know. Yeah, and in all honesty, I don't know if you're even gonna speculate on a Zelda movie or whatever the case. I mean, I don't think Nintendo's interested in movies ever since the original Mario Brothers movie. But I mean, the series was great. They had animes in Japan that went over. The American shows themselves, like the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, was just amazing.
Yeah,
I don't see how they can. I mean, if they want to, they can. I just don't know if it. And if they could, I feel like they can probably pull off one of the better video game movies if they work with the right studio and work with the right people. In all honesty, and I'm only sticking with that because I feel like just like how they're kind of like this standard in video games, and especially a starter for a lot of people and a lot of kids, because you got a lot of kids can start off with Nintendo and graduate to Microsoft's and Sony's consoles. In all honesty,
there's also the Resident Evil movies.
Yeah, which were like I said, like the first one was good. The other ones were
yeah, they were okay.
Yeah,
not the best, and they didn't even follow the games really.
No, they didn't.
It was like its own concept. Like, all right, cool.
Like Silent Hill. I know people I don't like that movie at all.
No.
But again, that's another movie about a video game about a movie.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now, you were talking about World of Warcraft, and I did want to bring up this little note of Dota 2. There's a professional team, Rave, were given sports visas by the South Korean government, so now they can just go and play in South Korea for a year and play esports.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's where, in a lot of strategy games, South Korea is where the scene is.
Yeah, the
best players, League of Legends is where it's at. I think Dota, the finals was actually 2 Chinese teams, but I still it's the same kind of game as League, and the Koreans dominate that game. So I'm pretty sure that if the Koreans wanted to, they could dominate Dota. The Koreans also dominate StarCraft. It's just any kind of strategy game is dominated by the Koreans, and it's. A lot of North American teams in League of Legends like to go to Korea to learn. So
yep,
it's good for them. I hope they do well.
Now, 2 last stories. Something that I saw and I thought was kind of funny. There's gonna be a Digimon game that's I guess almost like a Smash Bros. Like game.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. It's basically called Digimon All-Star Rumble.
Yes, awesome.
And it's made by Namco, which I think
is worked on Smash.
Exactly. That's where I think they're getting a lot of concepts from.
Jerks.
Yeah, no, they just kind of
You're stealing a game.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. Like, a lot of these things are being compared to like Smash Bros. From the stories that I've seen, and it's kind of interesting. It's gonna come out for the PS3 and the Xbox 360, ironically.
Can I play Agumon?
Yeah, no, but I don't know. I thought it'd be a good, quick little mention. And one of the final things we'll talk about, because out of everything from E3 and everything from Smash Bros, Bill Trenin became a star, basically, from all the Smash Bros talk. He, who? That kind of defeats my point.
Wait, who?
Bill Trenin, he actually works for Nintendo, and he's one of the guys, like one of the few guys that's been very supportive of the Smash Bros community. He watches a lot of the tournaments. He tweets about them. He even when like Mango won Evo, like he was all about like posting mangoes, like and like yogurt or whatever, like like he watches the tournaments and he watches play, and he's beaten Scar and Toph, like
nice.
the pro players, but at Smash 4. But granted, they haven't played as much as him.
Right.
But he had an interesting tweet that I really like to talk about a tiny bit, which was, never thought I'd say this, but going back to Melee tonight, it no longer feels right. And it's very interesting that he says that, because I can see that happening. Because you can't go to one game for like a long time, then go back another game and say, well, this wasn't how I remembered it. You know, or this isn't the
definitely.
same.
I've done that so many times with games. I was a huge Quake player.
Yeah.
And so when Quake 3 was, that's where the game was. I played Quake 3 for a long time. I switched to Quake Live, which is basically Quake 3, but it felt different. It felt better.
Yeah.
And when I went back to Quake 3 just for fun, I was like, God, this is just different.
Yeah, my own story about that was I was playing around with my Wii because I've hacked it around and everything, and I actually, the controllers that I fixed, because I had to fix my controllers because I had one controller that was broken, and I had fiddled with it. I wanted to play with it. I went to play, because I played Mario Kart 8 for like the last couple of months since it's been out, and I went back to Mario Kart Wii, and I looked horrible. I didn't know what the hell I was doing in this game. Meanwhile, I'm awesome. Like I said, I had like all 9s maxed out on my profile. I was like, I'm really good at this game. And I picked it up and tried it. And like, what am I doing? Well, how do I drift again? Like, I seriously could not drift like I used to. Like, It was so awful. But that's because I'm already used to the Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, it's different mechanics.
Yeah, very different.
And I feel the same way too. When I've been playing Brawl and Project M.
Oh, so vastly different.
Yeah, so well, even then, just between those two games. But then when I've gone back to Melee, I'm just like, God, I'm even worse at this game than I thought I was, because it's just like, nah. So
Yeah.
I understand what he's talking about. I'm in that boat.
Yeah,
when
seriously.
you've played an older game and upgraded to the newer version and played that for so long, you try to go back to an old version, you're like, dang, I'm bad at this.
Yeah.
Or even after playing Brawl and Project M, I've gone back and played the 64 version of Smash. And I've been like, oh wait, I forgot you can't charge moves. So I'm like smashing for no reason. I'm like, oh yeah, you can't charge a smash.
Yeah, that's gonna be something to get used to, because now you can charge your C-stick smashes, which I didn't know. Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
That's interesting though.
I actually don't like that.
Why not?
Cause I don't like charging C6 smashes. I'd rather just
Smash with C.
I'd rather hit the stick and have it just go. Although I don't really hold the C-stick, I flick it anyway.
Yeah, I guess that's what the point is. So if you hold the stick, it'll charge the
And
smash.
I kind of just like flick. Like, oh.
I wish I had tried it out when we had last played it.
I wish I knew about it. Yeah, I would have tried that out.
But then again, you didn't have a C-stick.
We didn't have a C-stick. We played on the Pro Controller. What are we talking about?
Yeah, funny enough. So we weren't really used to, C-stick controls or nothing like that.
True that.
So, this is our show. Hopefully it didn't sound too messy.
We were all over the place.
We
We went
were.
off topic like so much.
Yeah.
And this is another like hour plus show. Sorry, guys. But this show is so long because we actually just don't have a second part for you guys today.
Yeah.
We were both so busy this week that we didn't have time to prep for our usual second debate segment. So, you don't get one. Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, but you know what? Some people were like, oh, okay, whatever. Or, it's just whatever,
We got lives. We got to focus on that. And plus, we're doing so many big things. Like
we're working on stuff to better this podcast. So to have 1 week without a debate topic, yeah, you can deal with it.
Yeah, you definitely can.
Put your sunglasses on and deal with it, baby.
Yeah.
And I just did a motion with no sunglasses.
Just deal with it. Now, I mean, we did want to, like, in the future talk about maybe net neutrality and such like that, or even, like, other topics. Like, I had one in my brain, and I kept forgetting it, and I've been trying to think about it. Oh, what did I say? Earlier, I talked to you about it. Oh, fuck, what was it?
I have a goldfish memory, do you know? I don't know.
No, it was, what were we talking about earlier? Where it was like, free-to-play gaming.
Oh, right, free to play. Yeah, that was the topic we were going to go with if we had one.
Yeah.
But we decided that because we were so busy, we didn't have enough time to look into stuff. So we were like, yeah, instead of sounding like idiots, let's skip.
Yeah, let's skip that. Yeah, especially the free-to-play and, like, how controversial may or may not be when it's really free and when it's not, especially since the hype of the Kim Kardashian game came.
Oh boy.
Yeah, which is making so many millions of dollars, and I can't understand how or why, but that's a whole different issue that we'll get into later, and how developers are happy that the free-to-play actually isn't as profitable as thought or as game-changing as they thought. No pun intended, but a lot of developers are happy, and I really wanted to bring that up in the discussion, not to ruin it, but the information's out there, even if you wanted to see it.
So maybe that's next week's topic.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a teaser.
Mm-hmm. It could be, definitely. And,
in a world where everything is free to play.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just like doing that.
That'd be an awful world.
That would be terrible.
Ugh. I could just imagine just like first-person shooters. You just play one stage and you have to like pay or like get
free to play, pay to win.
I couldn't imagine a game like that. Side scrollers where like you have to pay $2 to go to the next stage.
You've reached the end of the level, but it's really halfway. Pay for the rest.
Ugh, that would be awful, dude.
Do you guys like my movie theater voice?
I don't know. The movie guy, Don LaFontaine, rest in peace.
Rip, man.
Rip
in
man.
pieces.
Dude, really?
Rip in pieces.
Man, that dude had a voice. He had the voice.
He's a man. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. You can check us out on the Twitters. At 2, the number 2, Broke Gamers Pod.
And also catch us on our new blog, 2 Bro Gamers Podcast, which is the number 2 Bro Gamers Podcast.wordpress.com. So definitely check us on that.
You can check out our personal Twitters as well.
Yes.
Steve B. Agilism, Agilism, because it's a word I made up. Yeah, deal with it.
And I am Rick with the spelled incorrectly, like old school, like some sort of whatever. I don't remember. Yeah, _Rick, _Rick. And definitely check us out on YouTube if you aren't already, because this is the only source we have right now. But
you're probably listening to this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So spread the word. We're gonna spread the word ourselves. Damn it! I didn't tweet a pre-show like what are we gonna talk about. So maybe we'll talk about it now and then upload it later.
Awesome.
Okay, to give a shout out to Harold and Victor, the two brothers working behind the scenes on this show. So we hope you enjoy our podcast, and we'll see you all next time.
Yeah.